Alrighty. Welcome back to Case Closed, anime review episode number 200 and not 200, 139. Yep, getting close to the 140 episode mark. This one is discussing the 127 episode series, Beyond the Curtain. Interesting. Now, in the case of some characters absent from this episode. Now, they mentioned the Hybra is absent from the episode. As far as I can tell, they mentioned, oh yeah, she's watching a TV show. I was watching at this opening dinner party that has Genta, Micho, and Ami, along with Professor Gasa, who really doesn't do anything this episode. No, seriously. Like, they bring him in, and he does nothing except basically drive the kids around. I'm like, really? You don't even have him basically have, like, Conan posted his voice? Oh, no, we don't do that at the end of the episode. Oh, no, we have to do something even more sillier than that, which I will get to that. So, having a dinner, just the four of them, and I'm thinking, okay, later on they could have shown Hybra, but no, she's absent again. I'm like, why do the writers who write these Amaranth episodes keep forgetting this character exists? Like, either one of two things might happen. This is maybe a recycled script from early on in the series. They basically retooled for the current stuff, or they basically simply forgot about her. So then they see, oh, we see like a couple just having dinner. And then we see the person with short hair beating the crap out of supposedly a woman. Though in actuality, it's actually quite different. So they have police officers go in, and it turns out everything's fine. It's like, oh, a large dog. No, it's not. Not really. And then they go to visit Mori Detective Agency. Now, Mori himself, there is no explanation where the heck he is. Near Ran. I mean, at this point, they could have had them say, oh yeah, they went on vacation, whatever. They could say Ran is visiting her mom. Nope, they're just absent from the episode for no explained reason. I mean, you have the detective agency. Oh yeah, and here's the thing. Conan does something in this episode that he never has done ever before in the series as long as he had his current cell phone. He watches a movie on his phone. Like, what? No, seriously, this is the first time I have ever seen him do this in the entire series. Not even the manga he does. I get the fact that my guess he must have my guess is Mori himself, or probably maybe his parents subscribed to him for a subscription service, just so he could watch this cop movie that he's watching. And they apparently gave him like a special stand. Now, my phone has got this little kickstand on it to basically have it set up on its end. He's got one of those other special ones, basically, where he's leaning against it. From what I can tell, it looked like the same thing that Moore uses to store his... I would say it's probably the same way he uses to store his business cards. But has anybody ever noticed, though, when it comes to his desk, has anybody ever seen a business card that Mori ever has the entire series? Not really, no. I get the fact there's a phone on his... Actually, you know what's also missing from his desk? A phone. Which, come think of it, he's got a cell phone. Why would he need a landline for? Well, probably just so he can be a normal office type of thing. So, they tell Conan... By the way, Conan is not wearing his signature outfit he's not wearing. Now, a lot of the time in the anime original episodes, sometimes even in canon episodes per se, where he does not wear his signature attire. His signature attire is a blue suit coat, white shirt, red bow tie, yes, red bow tie, along with khaki shorts and red sneakers. That originally were regular sneakers, and then they were retributed by Agasa to be one of these special sneakers that are very powerful and very strong as an adult. And this bow tie was modified to be one of these voice-changing bow ties. Yep. So, they explained to him exactly what happened. And, of course, they decided to have... And of course, they have Agasa. Yes, Agasa. I'm like... You know what the strange thing is? Agasa has never been inside the Mori office. I'm like, really? Yes, this is something quite serious, though, about this character. He has never stepped foot in this office at all. He has seen Mori himself multiple times of the whole series. He has seen Ran. Same thing as well. But for some reason, not even anime original episodes, they refuse to show Agasa in the detective shop. Now, in the office. Now, Detective Boys, they have been in the office multiple times the entire series. So that's nothing new. But I'm like, okay, you don't show Agasa in the episode, in this portion of the episode? Like, as far as I can tell, there's no explained reason for this at all. So they believe them because she claims it was a dog, but not really. I highly doubt a dog is a form of a person with long hair. So thanks to Takagi, they talk to the landlord. By the way, this is one of these special apartment buildings that have this like special key code in front. I've seen this in a few anime, not much. Aside from this series, one other series I've seen this in was actually in the Quintetsu Quintuplets. Yes. Aside from that, I can't think of any other anime I've come across where this has actually been the case when it comes to characters in this particular series. So, they go into the apartment. Apparently, this woman loves sports. They don't really go into it very much. And it turns out the woman's actually got short hair. And the guy's got long hair. Yes, this has not been unusual. Now, I should point out, though, this is nothing unusual. Guys do, in fact, at times grow long hair. As a matter of fact, one of my coworkers has got long hair, and he's a guy. Though he keeps it in basically one of these special, like, hats that he wears. That's in my teeth. So. Yeah, thank you, Chris. Yeah, I'm getting Twitter notifications from people. Anyway, so they look apart and they see that there's this picture of this guy with long hair, and there's like a pen stabbed into it, where they point, oh yeah, they must have really hate this guy for some reason. There's actually a reason, and it's somewhat justified for the reason is. So, Ko looks at the apartment and notices one of these special trash cans. You know the ones where you push like a pedal and the thing pops up. Excuse me. Now, here's the thing. I have seen this hat before. This is a rectangular trash can that has one of these little pedal things. Normally, these are ones that basically have like, I don't know. I think it's like supposed to be like, usually sometimes I've seen these for circular cans and I've seen these for rectangular trash cans. And inside this trash can, we see broken plates and broken glass. And then Ko walks out of the table, the very table that Detective Boys, including Agasa. By the way, Agasa is actually in the scene. He just basically puts hands on my back. Of course, Takagi does his normal thing of basically, hey, of course he thinks the kids are going to ruin the crime scene. Oh, no. They don't. They don't ruin the crime scene at all. They don't basically trash it like some group of senior citizens try to do. Now, they don't particularly show Ami very much during the scene. It's mostly Mitchell. He looks around the bathroom. These kids are very careful. Probably because Conan's trained them for this. That's not necessary. And of course, Conan notices, oh look, there's blood on the floor. And it looks like blood's been there since like last night. It's not like big drops, but it seems like a little scrape in the thing. And of course, the guy's like, is that blood? And Conan's like, yeah, it's blood. So, yeah, definitely something did happen here. Yeah, of course, thanks to the revelation with the woman having short hair and the guy having long hair, basically what they saw was correct, except it was the reverse, where it was the woman with short hair was actually the woman with long hair was the guy. So, thanks to also security footage that they discovered, that apparently we see her name is Yoko. Yes, her name is Yoko. She leaves this apartment building with this big suitcase. What's inside the suitcase? It's very heavily implied to be a dead body inside the damn thing. By the way, not the first time I've seen this. This is a common trope in fiction whenever they have murders. Like, what's the most common thing you see people usually move bodies with? A suitcase. Yes, a suitcase to transfer a guy. Now, in the pictures I've seen, picture they show in here, it's implied this guy must be really tall. Like, because the suitcase is really big. He must have his feet scrunched up. They must have his feet scrunched up, his legs scrunched up by that thing. So they find her that apparently she's gone to this flower park in Haido City. Haido, of course, is named after, I think it's supposed to be a actual area of Tokyo. Now, Baka City is a fictional neighborhood in Tokyo in this franchise that is named after Baker Street in London. That's typically what the thing is named after. And I believe Conan's address is an Easter egg for Sherlock Holmes, because the character is a fan of Sherlock Holmes, so of course he would. So, and then basically comes the genius plan. The plan is simply use shadow puppets to fool her, thinking there's police everywhere. And of course her hat falls off that she had. And apparently she had a hood with this damn thing. Like, okay, if you have a hat, okay, why don't you just keep the hood above the hat so your hat doesn't slip off? So Rachel reaches this archway, and by the way, they fool her basically thinking there's cops by basically playing Conan's phone. By the way, Goss himself, aside from apparently running around, he doesn't really do anything at all. And then, of course, finally come to the archway where Conan brings out a silhouette of supposedly Mori. Yes, a silhouette of the guy. Probably playing the fact there were silhouettes at the start of the episode. And she's like, who are you? I'm Mori Kongaro. I'm a detective. Of course, she doesn't mention he's the sleeping detective. Now, by the way, I should point out that whenever Conan does this, usually Mori's asleep when he does this. So, basically, this is also a bit of a comedy here, where while they're talking, the wind blows by, and of course tries to knock out the piece of paper that is the silhouette for Mori, or the fact that then he catches on fire. Yes, and it's explained the reason what happened during the action night itself, where apparently it's found that the guy who she killed, yes, she killed him because he was tied up. They feel this. Apparently, he'd been frequently cheating on her with multiple women. I'm like, any woman would be somewhat justified to do this to their guy, basically, when they would basically be angry enough to do this. Women might be justified to do this, but this is definitely wrong. Apparently, she also had this tray that had, like, pliers, a taser. Yes, a freaking taser. One of these electric tasers with, like, a little thing on top. Little teeth. So then she pours herself a glass of wine, drinks, and of course, the kids thought they were going for a kiss, but no, basically she was intimidating him. Of course, he was also apparently bleeding as well. Of course, you couldn't see his silhouette, and eventually she beat the crap out of him, killed himself in a suitcase. See, and then apparently she was going to she was taking out, and then she takes out a knife, yes, a knife, to apparently stab a shadow. Where they think, oh yeah, are you the lone detective? And of course, they detect something behind the bushes. She slices at it, and then Takagi pops up out of nowhere, and then says the time. I think it was like 1958. The time she was arrested, basically 7:58, she's arrested, and apparently arrested her for a weapon violation. How about also arrested for freaking murder? Yeah, and then we have a thing later on in the episode of them playing like sock puppets figure, which they are. Of course, one's a crab, and of course, one's going to be a bunny. Of course, they think think it's like an eel who is leaking. Like, okay, kind of a weird ending to this episode, but surprisingly a good episode. And the next week's episode is going to be called "The Ballad of the Woman Who Loved Cake." Yeah, that's what next week's episode will be called. But in 2 weeks, it's going to be an adaptation of a spin-off series for Case Closed. Yep. It's going to be called Police Academy Edition Wild Police Story. Yes, as for why the heck they're adapting it, I don't know. And if you're curious to how many chapters is this thing, this is roughly 13 chapters, and it basically takes place 7 years prior to events of the series, and it was started in late 2019, basically, I'd say not long after I started reading the manga and, of course, the actual series, and it's something that we're finally adapting something that is technically canon, and the writer himself did write the stuff. Okay, it's under his supervision, but technically it's written by Tetsu Ori. But yeah, it's a canon series. I should point out that it's one of several spin-offs. There was also Zero's Tea Time, which is still being published. Which, last I saw, it looks like it published like 53 chapters. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. Apparently, it was announced last month that Zero's Tea Time is going to be adapted for an anime. I'm like, okay. Mike, this should be interesting. Yeah, I haven't read this one yet either, but this should be interesting. Yeah, that should be quite interesting in a couple weeks. Yep. But yeah, that's a particular review. Um, I'm looking at the time now. It's not gonna be good for me to do a review for Welcome to Deepest Go Roncon, so I'll probably cap it off tomorrow. And of course, I'm also gonna do reviews for newest episodes of Meshuggah Chapter Incarnation, One Piece, and Boruto. For One Piece, I'm reviewing the 1000th episode of the series, which is gonna be awesome. And I'm also going to review news chapters of Black Clover and My Hero Academia. Yep. But see you tomorrow. Bye.